just having a DEI program will be counted as evidence in their favor, even if the program doesn't do okay? It's the I have a black friend of the legal system, right?
Yeah, I don't think, like, I know some people are mad at Charlamagne the God for this segment. I think the segment's kind of on point, to be totally honest with you. It's calling to the root of the problem of performative politics, or performative corporate politics at that. Oh, we're rolling the dice on this one, because this story might have a very funny conclusion. I haven't actually seen this segment yet, but this is Charlamagne the God talking that he has an issue with DEI.
Hey, y'all remember 2020, right? Yeah, COVID, social distancing, murder hornets. Yeah, y'all forgot about murder hornets, huh? Or maybe you remember...
No, they haunt all our dreams.
...our nationwide reckoning with racism. After the murder of George Floyd, white people across America looked around and said, wait a second, are we racist? So America took a good hard look at itself, and when big corporations saw themselves in the mirror, they said, oh shit, we're white as f***.
Inequality in corporate America. There are only 5 black CEOs running Fortune.
Yes, I am aware that Elon Musk has tweeted this story out and done the whole, well, I mean, I could just straight up show you here, doing the you know, well done, you know, hands to Jesus style thing, Daily Show. I'm curious then, what exactly was the content of this? I'm just wondering if Elon Musk actually watched it. Or whether he saw the headline at the very top and all of a sudden was like, oh, this is someone else repeating the opinions that I've been trying to push on the public for so long now.
500 companies.
You can see 6% of top executives as black. In terms of the population of the United States, it should be 13%.
In a video, Nike said, don't pretend there's not a problem in America. Critics point out that all of Nike's executives are white.
That's right. The board of Nike was so white, they were all wearing New Balance. And to address this problem, businesses turned to a solution called diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. It means more fair hiring policies, new anti-discrimination rules for the workplace, and sensitivity training seminars. And the first thing it led to was a shitload of ads.
Real progress on diversity and inclusion doesn't happen without real work.
Say celebrate diversity into your X1 voice remote to discover curated content today.
Every day, General Mills serves the world by making food people love.
I really hope they start showing the CIA ones. Those ones are the best ones of all of them.
And inclusion is one of our secret ingredients.
At Serf Times, our purpose is to make life delicious. And we believe we can't achieve that without one essential ingredient: diversity.
I don't know, Serf Times. You sound thirsty. Yeah, you sound real thirsty with this ad, you know? What's that special ingredient, that secret sauce, you know, that makes it irresistible? Diversity.
It's diversity that makes life delicious.
Ooh.
We're on a 400-year-long journey, and scars don't fade. But neither does hope.
Ask your doctor if black people are right for you. That's right. Nobody's buying Vaseline because of diversity. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever actually bought Vaseline. It's just there. Like, it comes with the house, right? That's how things stood in 2020.
Please throw that out. If you're moving into a new location and there's good old used tub of Vaseline on the corner, I would remove that immediately. You might need, like, you know, biomedical students to make sure that it's completely safety enclosed and captioned and taken away. Do not.
That was like 15 years ago. Today, when people talk about DEI,
yeah, BioWare style.
Like DEI is just a rebranded version of hating white people.
DEI, in this case, stands for divisive, erroneous, and insidious.
DEI, which stands for didn't earn it.
Discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination.
DEI. DEI stands for Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and Ice Cube.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all cheering out there, but do you want with attitude coming to your office? These right-wingers are crazy, right? Jesus. But here's the part where you all stop applauding everything I say. The truth about DEI is that although it's well-intentioned, it's mostly garbage, okay? It's kind of like the Black Little Mermaid. just because racists hate it doesn't mean it's good. And you know I'm right, because every one of you has sat through one of those diversity training sessions and thought, this is some bullshit. And it's not just you. Over 900 studies have shown that DEI programs don't make the workplace better for minorities. In fact, it can actually make things worse because of the backlash effect. Remember DARE from school? Y'all remember DARE? Yeah. She said, woo. DEI training is like DARE for racism. And you all know how effective that was. I was sitting there going, oh, shit, there's a ton of fun drugs I should try. I didn't even know about Molly. Thanks, Officer John. But the biggest failure of DEI is that the number of black people in power at big companies is basically the same as it was 5 years ago.
I think that Elon only got to this point here. Probably stopped at like the 3-minute and 50-second mark. Probably. And then it was like, oh yeah, okay, good. Yeah, no, this is exactly my same message.
In fact, maybe the only thing that DEI has accomplished is giving racist white people cover to be openly racist.
DEI breeds complacency, Dana, and complacency kills.
We're going to have doctors who don't know how to perform heart surgery, and we're going to have planes.
He stopped to go buy Vaseline. Well, I mean, I think all of us suddenly got that notification, right? Well, I got to check on my Vaseline supply. Goddamn.
That are falling out of the sky.
Boeing recently bragged not about being the best in the business, but about surpassing its diversity quotas. Oh, goody. But then, not so good, a door flying off one of Boeing's 737 Supermaxes.
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
I mean, honestly, when I see a black pilot, I'm not worried that we're going to crash. I'm worried that we're going to get pulled over. Okay? That's right. That's right. That's right. And no, officer, I will not step out of this vehicle. All right? But yeah, they're blaming DEI for everything. Even that bridge in Baltimore. They called Baltimore's mayor the DEI mayor, like he was given the job for being black.
This story is wild because I saw, like, obviously Elon Musk has already, quote tweeted it, done the whole, like, praise this segment, amazing, finally someone's telling the truth. And again, I don't think he's understanding. Well, I don't think he watched it, to be completely frank. The point of the segment isn't that the very concept or the initiative or wanting to have something that has more equity in the workplace in and of itself is bad. It's that corporations are using it as a way of simply trying to advertise that they actually care about marginalized communities, when in fact the actual ownership and the way these companies are run is not changing. Their advertising is, their branding is, they're front facing, like, hey, by the way, we care a lot about our black employees, we care deeply about our black customers. And I'm like, I'm sure you do, I'm sure you care about all your customers and their monies, but outside of that is the actual structure of these companies. Are you promoting people within your own company that happen to be black? Are there black people in positions of power? Are there black managers? Are there black CFOs? Are there black CEOs? Are there black lawyers who actually, like, handle the legal aspects of your company? How much of the structure of the company is actually now being run by people who happen to not be white on a regular basis? And if it turns out, well, that doesn't change at all, and actually our hiring policies didn't really hire a lot more people of color either, that didn't happen either, but our advertising did. So when you watch the ads, they're all really nice. Those ads are nice and shiny, and it makes you feel good. You get good warm feelies when you watch them, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing something. I'm making a difference every single time I jerk off. When I reach for that tub of Vaseline, I'm changing the world, baby, a couple times a day.
Then they said the shipping company was too focused on DEI instead of safety. But almost the entire leadership of the company is white. No black people, right? If anything, the Baltimore mayor, he should have been the one to make it racist. Just come out like, these crackers knocked down my bridge, okay? All right? And one of y'all crackers better pay for it, okay?
Elon definitely didn't watch this.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Hey, you Gopnik! Good to see you. Welcome in, Raiders. It's wonderful this side of the internet. We're watching the whole world melt down over DEI. I don't know if you've heard of it. Yes, and I don't know how much of your audience is European, but there's an American thing. I'm not American either, actually. I just have to talk about America. It's America #1, baby. They rule the world. This DEI thing is letting a lot of the racists get real mad about things that aren't actually affecting the capitalist corporate structure system at all. That it's actually pretty cool that this segment came out and it's worded and done the way it is. Like, this whole segment basically talks about how this is all corporate front-facing bullshit, that this doesn't actually affect people of color. Black people are not being hired as managers. Black people are not being elevated to positions of power. Black people are not the controllers of these companies. But the ads that these companies are running are very, very, oh, we care a lot about diversity. Oh, we care a lot about equity. Oh, we care a lot about all these things. We'd like to pretend to care anyway, because we feel it'll make you buy our stuff, our Vaseline. If you want to buy Vaseline, you got to know that Vaseline isn't racist, you know, before you use it for whatever people use Vaseline for. I assume moisturization or something to that effect, something around there. Hey, can everyone go to twitch.tv/Ugopnik and then go give a follow back. And if you're on YouTube, you can go check out Ugopnik. Ugopnik has a lot of takedown videos of me. They're mostly just like the Serfs is a fucking coward and scoundrel. That's the majority of the content.
And here's why. It's just corporate PR.
I'm joking.
They want good vibes. And also, they want to cover their ass, okay? Did you know that if a company gets sued for civil rights violations, just having a DEI program will be counted as evidence in their favor, even if the program doesn't do shit, okay? It's the I have a black friend of the legal system, all right?
Yeah, I don't think, like, I know some people are mad at Charlamagne the God for this segment. I think the segment's kind of on point, to be totally honest with you. It's calling to the root of the problem of performative politics, or performative corporate politics at that, where a lot of companies are coming forward and saying that they care about diversity and equity and inclusion, and they don't. There might be like a training seminar or a program where it's like, okay, everybody, today we're going to learn how not to be racist to each other. That's different than today we're actually going to promote people who have been marginalized by society because the overrepresentation of white people in our company is being called into question. Two really different things, right?
We don't need corporate DEI. Yes, we want diversity and equity and inclusion, but we don't want it from Vaseline. Although I'm not going to front, Vaseline has been there for the black community. Respect, okay? Right? That's right. I'm moisturized, okay? Look, man, real DEI is only going to come from black leadership. I don't know how to do it because I'm not a...
I've attended sessions like that at my job. There are very necessary conversations in those settings. I think it also goes to show a little bit sometimes that I think, like, you know, most white people, myself included, haven't had the talk or a general just conversation about race, because, again, if white is the default setting, you don't experience just like the daily kind of othering or racism that people who aren't visibly white do. And so the very concept of like, yeah, so I know you think you're being a friend and ally, as you put it, and things like that, but all the things you say are really fucking insulting, and they're kind of just really fucked up. And so, like, I know your heart's in the right place, I guess. Maybe it doesn't feel that way, but sure, you're saying it, so you want to make a difference. You want to vote for Obama a third time, but you can't. I know. But yeah, it's just kind of weird that you always say that I'm just kind of like, I look like I'd be really good at basketball, or that you want to touch my hair, or that you tell the Asian employees that they have to be really good at math just because of reasons. I know you're just trying to fit in. And it's a different environment than you may be used to, and you're just hanging out with people who look a little differently than you do, and so you're reaching, you're grasping, you're flailing. Let's be honest, you're a lot of flailing. You're doing the flailing. A lot of that. But yeah, so just so you know, there's terms and words for all these things you're doing, and yeah, maybe we can explain a little bit in this. Ugopnik says, what I thought Vaseline was only used for sex. Balkanoid brain. Well, I assume there's reasons beyond, you know, if you happen to have large lips like myself, sometimes putting chapstick or Vaseline on them is nice for them not to get chapped. Outside of that, and sex, I'm not entirely. What do most people consume Vaseline for on a regular basis? It's hard to know. Science cannot tell us. It's one of the mysteries of the universe.
Black leader. But I do know how to tell if it's working. Just keep an
People were also more likely to speak on their experiences too. That's good. I mean, I'm not here to downplay how that could be beneficial, especially again to people who are oftentimes racialized in society, and how that helps in the work environment. And like, I'm not here to downplay that, but I think the very way that these companies advertise themselves is somehow trying to be part of the solution. You know, it's like they're slapping ally sticker right beside the Microsoft logo, and then saying like, we care deeply about ending racial prejudice, hierarchies, blah, blah, blah. And insofar as that we want you to buy our shit. We'd prefer if you buy some more Vaseline. I'm never going to stop talking about Vaseline. This segment is ruined by Vaseline. Fucking Vaseline. If you didn't know, there's a diversity ad of Vaseline. Now I want to watch the full ad.
eye on right-wing media. The more they're freaking out, the more progress we're making.
Like, I think you should probably have both. I think you should have, in one end, there needs to be a society-wide conversation. Obviously, there needs to be more discussion, and one in which I think more people need to start explaining to one another, and move the Overton window in that regard. You know, get more people to understand how, say, racial subjugation in the United States works, how white privilege isn't a superpower. It doesn't mean you're privileged with powers and you can just run around punching cops. Don't do it, white people. You will get hurt. Do not do that, okay? That is not what privilege is. I was told that I have white privilege, so I'm gonna now flip a couple cop cars and light them on fire. Don't do that, okay? The cops will fuck you up. You may learn pretty quickly sometimes what it feels to be, say, marginalized in society once that happens, so don't do that whole thing. But more so that, like, you might not know this because, again, if whiteness is the default setting, and a lot of people don't realize that, like, I didn't think media was weird growing up. Even though all of media was mostly just white people, the superheroes were mostly white men, the characters were mostly white, and the standards of beauty, I never once thought about this, was white women. That's what is always seen as like the beautiful person, and the magazines and the covers and the songs and the music videos and the movies and the TVs and all that kind of stuff. And then when there's slight differences to that, now that's called woke. Yeah, you thought you liked Romeo and Juliet, did you? Well, did you hear that the new Romeo and Juliet play apparently is going to have a white man and a black woman because of woke? Because they couldn't just let us even have Romeo and Juliet. They couldn't. You know, now this is happening. Our lives are affected by this.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We first want to give a shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. This program is produced thanks to the generous support of our Patreon supporters: Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbar Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bomey, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, and Words Greenwood, as well as every other person you see on the screen right now. This show would not be possible without them. And if you want to join these wonderful people who make this entire program possible, simply go to patreon.com/the Serfs and you can unlock uncensored and bonus episodes and, you know, help us exist.